I didn't grow up with money, but I ended up spending quite a bit of time in the school holidays actually at the business. My father already had started a business. He started a business when he was very young. I think he started when he was 19 with a kit of tools on a push bike. That business, within a very short space of time, in 1946 became A.G. Coombs Proprietary Limited. And this today is still the forerunner of what the business is. A.G. was my father's initials, which is Alan George Coombs, but now is known as A.G. Coombs. My father was a tough man, and let's say he ran more a dictatorship than a democracy, and that was his style. You know, stories of early parts of the business where we'd call a meeting with 10 people, he'd have 5 chairs, so the meeting wouldn't take long. I ended up doing about 9 years of night school in marketing, finance. So I spent a lot of time learning and studying about business, and I've never stopped. I still do to this day, but my journey of learning about business started when I was actually doing my apprenticeship. But then when I aged 27, my father decided, being a tough man, had a complete, physical breakdown, wound up in hospital. And there's no doubt there was a mental part to it as well, but he was very ill. And he never set foot back in business in an operational sense from that day onwards. And I got appointed as managing director and thrown in the deep end plus a bit. I think I was thrown in the deep blue sea with no aqualung. And from that day, I've got to say, I think my journey in business really started from that day onwards. The key people in the business, the employees, were like family to me. So I always considered it to be a family business. And the business grew quite a bit from I think when I took over, it was sort of in the $20 million category. We've sort of grown to about a $70 million business by this point in time. And that's when recession hit Australia, but depression hit the building industry, where 50% of our work disappeared overnight. The banks decided the building industry wasn't a great place to be and just said, look, if you want to keep your facilities, your bank guarantee facilities, which are critical to running a building industry, they said, well, we want you to stump up over $3 million in cash in the next few months. In terms of making or breaking you as a business person, not only then dealing with hundreds of redundancies, you're then dealing with the banks trying to virtually foreclose the business down. And I had to then go, well, okay, what do I do in terms of business survival? And I learned right around that period, I learned more in business than ever will out of any textbook you could ever learn, and also about yourself and stress and what business can do to you and how you very carefully have to manage yourself as well as the business. I didn't see any other option other than just to tackle it head on and go, we've got to do this. There is no other option other than to build something out of this. And the rest is history. We never look back from that day on as a company. We turned the business around really within 12 months and never looked back. And that point in time was $20 million business, and that process continued where to my latter years of the business, and the business was 150 million turnover, plus. Culture was a big thing for me. And to me, the ultimate goal was for the employees to be part of what we were building and creating. And the business was bought out by employees, so I left the business at that point in time, still I think too young to retire. Then a friend of mine said, look, can you come and help me with a couple of my businesses? It was really this point in time where I really enjoyed doing that work. I didn't really know a lot about what I was doing, but I knew a lot about business. I never really realised how much I knew. Not until you start getting involved in things outside of you realise how much knowledge you have. And it started my journey in saying, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to use all the experiences of my life, the good experiences, the bad, everything I'd seen, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I learned a lot about what to do in business, but I learned a lot about what not to do in business. And somewhere along the line, that experience could be, if I can impart and help people on the journey, because I know how tough it is. I know how hard it is, and getting harder, it's not getting easier. To improve the performance of the business, the person or the people in the business must grow, which is a natural evolution in the coaching model. What I've seen is that generally people are very poor with execution. They know what they want to do, they know where they want to take the business, but very poor in executing. Most people have a high technical knowledge about what they do, but a low business knowledge. To be successful in business, people need what I call an insatiable appetite to learn. The more they learn about business, the more successful they'll be in business. And you have to know more and be good, not just okay at what you do, you have to be really good at what you do. So just the amount of knowledge you need, you can't know it all, and I just encourage people who are in business is just don't leave it too late. You know, if you need help, put your hand up, you know, and ask for help and do it early. It's actually okay. In fact, I say to people, seeking help is a strength, it's not a weakness.